Right, so in question 14 we're told that A equals 4 times B times C. A is equal to 100 and B is equal to 2. We're asked to work out the value of C. So let's substitute in here. A is 100 and that's going to equal 4 multiplied by B, which is 2, multiplied by C. So that means that 100 is equal to 8 times C. So what we're going to do is divide both sides by 8, which means that C equals 8 into 100 is going to be, let me see, 4 into 100 is 25, so it must be 12.5. If you're unsure about that, use the calculator to do the job for you. Okay, next part. M equals the square root of k plus 1 over 4, and we're asked to make k the subject of the formula. Now, a nice way to do a question like this can be to think of what happened to k from the beginning to end so that it ended up in this position. Now this only works where the variable you're trying to make the subject of the formula appears only once. If it appears twice, this won't work. But we can think about it. If I start with k, I would have to add 1 to it to get k plus 1. Then what I would have to do is divide it by 4 to get k plus 1 divided by 4. And then we have to take the square root, SQRT, to get the square root of k plus 1 over 4. And this expression here is equal to m. So if I'm looking at this storyboard, if you will, and thinking of what's happening backwards, instead of taking the square root, I would have to square. So m squared is m squared. Then, instead of dividing by 4, we're going backwards, I would have to multiply by 4. And 4 times m squared is 4m squared. And then instead of adding 1 on, I would have to take 1 away. So I would get 4m squared take away 1. And this expression is going to equal this expression. So k is equal to 4m squared take away 1. And there we have it. K is now the subject of the formula. Over here on the right, I'm just going to show you the more traditional way to do it. We have m equals the square root of k plus 1 over 4. So the first thing I have to do is to square both sides. When I square both sides, I get m squared equals k plus 1 over 4. Next thing I'll have to do is I'll have to times both sides by 4. Multiplying both sides by 4, we get 4m squared equals k plus 1. And then finally I have to take 1 away from both sides. So we get 4m squared take away 1 equals k. You might notice that these 3 steps are exactly what has happened here. So the storyboard way of doing it might help you figure out the stages to answer the problem.